Marcus Rashford's prime is back, and it is frightening. The English forward, discarded and overlooked by Ruben Amorim at Manchester United, is now rewriting his story in Barcelona. Seven games in a row with goal contributions. 2 goals, 5 assists. A player who was written off is now building his redemption arc. Rashford set himself a target the moment he landed in Spain. 30 to 40 goal contributions before the 30th of June, the day his loan deal expires. If he reaches that number, Barca will have no choice but to pay the 30 million clause agreed with United. A gamble for some, but Rashford is proving it might be a bargain. Nobody expected him to succeed. Pundits, fans, even his own critics at Old Trafford predicted the bench, not the spotlight.
I think it's good to part ways. He's obviously seen something he doesn't like, and he's had a look at it. He's new manager. He probably had a clean slate since he come in, but he obviously doesn't like what he sees. Whatever about their their on-field performances. He's on about looking at their attitudes in terms of training, travelling, the way they speak to staff, work rate, etc. So to leave him out of the squad is a big call.
But he has found something at Barca he lost long ago. Confidence, freedom, and a chance to be decisive again.
There's a huge talent in there with Marcus Rashford. We saw him be disciplined last season when he was late for a meeting. He actually missed a game. But something is clearly wrong, either at home or his relationship with the football club, because he can't keep doing this. He can't waste his talent. It's not right. He needs strong management, someone to get hold of him and say, you know what, you get to the end of your career and you have huge regrets. You can't have that, and you don't need that.
This is not the version of Rashford weighed down by doubts. This is the player who once scored 30 goals and 12 assists in 2022-2023.
Is he onside? He's in the penalty area. Chance for Rashford. Goal for Marcus Rashford.
That sharp, lethal, confident Rashford has returned, and he is silencing every hater with facts, not words. The numbers speak loud. Best start for any Barcelona player in the Champions League. 2 goals and 1 assist in just 2 matches. Across all competitions, 5 assists. Already the team's top provider. He isn't just fitting in, he's becoming indispensable. In only 2 months, the conversation has changed completely. From a loan deal mocked as desperation after Nico Williams' failed transfer to one of the most exciting stories of Barca's season. What makes him even scarier is how complete his game looks. Rashford is reading spaces better than anyone. His off-ball runs are clever. His finishing, calmer. His passing, sharper. He stretches defenses, adds verticality on the left, and balances perfectly with Lamine Yamal's chaos on the right. His physical shape looks prime. His confidence is high, and yet nobody gives him the respect he deserves. Nobody sees how close Rashford is to rewriting his career at the Camp Nou. But if he continues at this level, the haters won't just be silenced. They'll be forced to admit that Marcus Rashford is back. Marcus Rashford's level at Barcelona is nothing short of sensational. The Englishman has regained his confidence, and with it, every one of his natural weapons has come back to life. Explosive speed, devastating power, and the ability to destroy defenders 1 versus 1. He looks unstoppable on the left flank, using self-passes, quick dribbles, and sharp changes of pace to break lines. Rashford has become a true space eater, timing his runs perfectly behind the back line, either to assist or to finish. And when it comes to finishing, his thunderous shot is still there, while his link-up play gets sharper with every match. The perfect example came from a Dani Olmo pass. Rashford sprinted the length of the pitch, leaving the entire defensive line 10 steps behind. But instead of forcing the shot, he slowed, scanned, and picked out Olmo's late run into the box. A precise cutback, a calm finish from Olmo, and Barcelona had another goal, created entirely by Rashford's intelligence. Against PSG with Villa, he showed his ability to assist even in tight situations. Faced with Fabian Ruiz one-on-one, he used a simple body feint to glide past, cut inside against Vitinha, and opened the lane for a dangerous cross. The ball curved perfectly into the path of his teammate for the finish. And in the Champions League clash with Paris, Rashford showed how much he has adapted to Hansi Flick's system. After Yamal intercepted a pass high up the pitch, Rashford positioned himself between the fullback and center back, waiting. Yamal found Pedri, who drove into the middle, pulling defenders with him as Ferran and Yamal cut inside. Rashford, instead of sprinting blindly, slowed his run, stayed free, and with one perfect first-touch pass, released Ferran inside the box. The result? A simple finish, but one created by Rashford's timing and vision. Even at set pieces, Rashford has become decisive. 2 assists, already from corners, prove how refined his delivery has become. It's not just about speed and power anymore. His passing is clean, sharp, and consistently dangerous. For Hansi Flick, this is gold. The German manager demands intelligent combination play from his wingers, and Rashford is delivering exactly that. From being doubted at Old Trafford to becoming a key part of Barcelona's collective machine, Rashford is proving he is not just reborn, he is evolving. One of Marcus Rashford's deadliest qualities is his shooting from medium and long range. When he cuts inside from the left towards central zones or strikes from a straight position, he becomes almost unstoppable. His technique is clean, sharp, and explosive. He doesn't need time, he doesn't need space. One touch is enough to unleash a strike that goalkeepers struggle even to see, let alone save. From left to right, this trademark movement is pure danger. He angles his body, sets the ball half a step away, and lashes it with that whip-like motion that has become his signature. Around 40% of his shots hit the target, a remarkable number considering the level of difficulty and the distance involved. For Barcelona, who often face deep blocks and compact defenses, this weapon is priceless. Think about the sequence that started with a clearance from Andre Onana. Bruno Fernandes collected the ball in midfield and waited just long enough to see Rashford bursting forward in full stride. The pass arrived, and without a second thought, Rashford hammered it from distance. The result? A thunderbolt goal, the kind only a handful of players in the world can produce. This ability to strike cleanly from range has already saved Barcelona in key moments. Take his goal against Newcastle in the Champions League. The ball dropped loose after a defensive clearance, and while most players would have recycled possession, Rashford backed himself. A couple of touches to shift his marker, a half of yard of space, and then the explosion. The ball flew past the keeper before he could even set himself. Barcelona do not have many consistent long-range shooters. Rafinha has it, Pedri can do it, but Rashford adds a new, reliable dimension. When teams close the box and deny the passing lanes, he simply creates the chance by himself. The unpredictability forces defenders to step out earlier, which in turn opens spaces for Yamal, Olmo, or Rafinha to exploit. Marcus Rashford's most terrifying weapon is his ability to move into space. With or without the ball, he attacks open grass like very few players in world football. The ball sticks to his feet when he drives forward, and combined with his raw pace, he becomes unstoppable once he gets a step on the defender. This is why Rashford thrives in transitions. Barcelona under Hansi Flick play at a higher tempo, breaking lines quickly and pushing teams who dare to leave space behind. Rashford fits that style perfectly. He doesn't need to dribble past 5 players. His movement and acceleration do the damage before defenders even set their shape. The numbers back it up. In his last 2 Premier League seasons, Rashford posted dribble success rates of 32% and 48%. Not elite like a pure winger such as Vinicius Jr., but efficient enough to hurt teams when he chooses the right moments. And that's the key. Rashford doesn't dribble for show. He dribbles with purpose, always aiming to create a shot or a passing lane. In the final third, his decision-making has matured. On average, he produces 1.9 shots and 1.3 key passes per game. That balance shows why he is so effective. He's not only a direct threat on goal, but also a player who makes teammates more dangerous. When he cuts inside, he either finishes with his powerful right foot or lays it off at the perfect moment for players like Yamal or Lewandowski. His movements stretch the pitch. By constantly running behind the defensive line, Rashford forces center backs to drop deeper, creating space between the lines for midfielders like Pedri and Olmo. And when he doesn't receive the ball, his runs still matter because they drag markers away and free up others. One of the clearest examples of Rashford's brilliance in space came from what first looked like a mistake. He lost the ball near midfield, and the opposition tried a long clearance to push forward. But United center backs reacted quickly, winning the header and regaining possession. The ball fell to Anthony Martial, who skipped past his marker with a neat touch. The moment Rashford saw Martial take control, he exploded into a sprint from the halfway line, bursting into the vacant channel behind the defense. Martial lifted his head, spotted the run, and threaded a perfect pass between the lines. Rashford needed no second invitation. In a matter of seconds, he was one-on-one with the keeper, and with ice in his veins, he slotted the ball calmly into the near post. A textbook finish born from pace, timing, and intelligent movement. But Rashford is not just about running into space. He has also shown that even though dribbling is not his main weapon, he can still create opportunities on his own. A prime example was against Manchester City. Juan Mata slipped him a ball just outside the penalty area, and Rashford immediately took on his defender. His acceleration was so explosive that the defender simply could not adjust. In 2 touches, Rashford was inside the box, his stride unbroken, his focus razor sharp. Facing the goalkeeper, he stayed composed and delivered a clean finish into the corner, a move that underlined how dangerous he is when he decides to take matters into his own hands. These goals reflect what makes Rashford special. The mix of timing, speed, and sharp finishing, but also the ability to surprise defenses, even in situations where he is not expected to. Whether exploiting space left behind or carving it himself, his goals come from his greatest strengths, and that is what makes him such a unique weapon. One of the most impressive qualities Marcus Rashford has brought back to life is his versatility across the final line of attack.
I can play over different positions. This is one of my strengths, to play across the front line. So I play where the team needs me, and try to score goals and create goals from them positions.
His favorite zone will always be the left flank, where he has the space to accelerate diagonally towards goal, cutting inside defenders with speed and power. It is the role that feels most natural to him, the one that maximizes his explosiveness, and the one in which he has punished countless right backs across Europe. But that's not the only face of Rashford. Over the years, he has become comfortable acting as a pure number 9, as well as operating on the right side when needed. With Manchester United, he experienced both the traditional 2-striker system and the modern 3-forward structure. And now, under Hansi Flick at Barcelona, he is proving that he can adapt seamlessly to whatever role is required. This ability to switch zones is not just a tactical bonus. It makes him unpredictable and extremely hard to mark. Heat maps of his career tell a clear story. From 2021 onwards, his presence has grown inside the box season after season. At first, he was primarily an outlet down the wing, but gradually, he has mastered the art of arriving at the right time in central positions. Today, Rashford is a forward who understands every zone of the area. He times his runs, anticipates defenders' reactions, and knows exactly when to appear for the final touch. This is why he consistently finishes matches with multiple shots on target, regardless of whether he starts wide or centrally. His game is not just about finishing. Rashford is also excellent at linking play. He can receive a long ball under pressure, win duels against center backs, and lay it off cleanly to a teammate. In his last Premier League season, he won 40% of aerial duels in this type of situation, showing he's not just pace and power, but also a reliable option when the team needs an outlet. This ability puts him in the same tactical category as players like Lewandowski, who excel at quick layoffs and make him a valuable reference point for Barcelona's build-up. Another one of Rashford's hidden weapons is his efficiency with minimal touches. He doesn't overcomplicate possession, completing passes at a 78% success rate while keeping the game vertical and fast. That's why he is fitted so well into Flick's Barcelona. When Rashford gets the ball, it's usually 1 or 2 touches before releasing it, and immediately moving again to be available for the next phase. This is how he assisted Ferran Torres in the Champions League, not by holding the ball endlessly, but by making the right decision at the right time, and then moving to reappear as an option. And this is what makes Rashford such a dangerous forward today. He's not just a winger who runs at defenders, and not just a striker who waits inside the box. He is a complete forward, capable of combining with Pedri, Yamal, or Rafinha, while always threatening with his own movements. That's why the left side of Barcelona is becoming as frightening as the right side led by Lamine Yamal. If he keeps this consistency, Rashford could easily reach the 40 goal contributions he set as his target, and at that point, nobody will dare to disrespect him again. After seeing all of this, the disrespect Marcus Rashford has received from pundits, commentators, and so-called analysts looks completely unjustified. Let's not forget, this is a player who in his best season scored more than 30 goals for Manchester United, and across his time at Old Trafford, he delivered 138 goals in all competitions.
Eriksen with a great cross. Rashford! Marcus Rashford!
That is no small feat, especially when you consider the chaos that United has been over the last few years. A club that has destroyed the confidence of star players and extinguished the fire of many others. To shine in that environment is almost impossible, and Rashford still did it. What makes Rashford's revival even more shocking is that Ruben Amorim simply refused to use him at Manchester United. At a time when the club was suffering its worst attacking record in history, going game after game without scoring, Rashford was left on the bench.
I will put Vital before I put a player that don't give the maximum every day. So I will not change in that department.
In fact, Amorim decided not to use him for 11 consecutive matches. It was a decision that made no sense, ignoring one of the team's most proven goal threats when goals were the one thing United desperately needed. In reality, it was more than a tactical mistake. It was a form of self-sabotage from the Portuguese manager, a choice that damaged both the team and the player.
And today the team proved that we can leave anyone outside the squad. You can manage to win if we play together.
And we must not ignore his impact for England either. At the Qatar 2022 World Cup, he was England's best player in the group stage, scoring decisive goals and carrying the team's attack.
Marcus Rashford! Oh, yes! Magnificent!
Yet inexplicably, when the knockout rounds came, he was benched. It was one of the most baffling decisions in recent international football, and it robbed him of the chance to lead his nation in the crucial games. When his final season at Manchester United arrived, many people labeled him finished. At Aston Villa, he proved them wrong. And now, at Barcelona, he's proving to the entire football world that everyone was mistaken.
Marcus at his best is unbelievable.
Can he rediscover that best form? We saw glimpses of it again at Villa, didn't we?
Well, let's look at what's happened to the players that have left Manchester United recently. The players that you thought, oh, they're really struggling. They've done unbelievably well. Unbelievably well everywhere else. So there's something at Manchester United at the moment that's a little bit rotten. And the players that have got away from that have generally succeeded. So I suspect Marcus, like we saw even at Villa, he was terrific. And I think he can do the same sort of thing for Barcelona. Very much hope so.
Rashford deserves a public apology because he is showing again that he is a world-class player, a complete forward who has much more to give. Today, Marcus Rashford is the top assist provider at Barcelona, and he is quickly becoming one of Hansi Flick's most important weapons. United want him back, but Rashford is fighting for something bigger, for Barcelona to trust him enough to make the deal permanent. Because when nobody else believed in him, Flick did.
I think I have to look a little bit back because I already follow Marcus since he started with Manchester, and I always said, wow, what kind of player he is. He's unbelievable. He has speed, but also one against one situation. It's really fantastic. So, and also finishing, it's unbelievable.
So now the Spanish press, the English press.
So to leave him out of the squad is a big call. But for us who've watched United recently, there's also not that big a surprise because both players have been poor. And he's probably said enough's enough. And we'll see also how they react to this big disappointment to be left out of a squad on a...
And every pundit who dismissed him needs to stay quiet.
I'm honestly fine with people having their opinion on me regardless. You know, I'm doing the thing that I love to do every day. I don't want anything else. I'm more like lenient towards the public having their opinion because they're not to know. Whereas like when it's like ex-players that know the game and like then I get confused about it. Like,
why do you think that is though, ex-players?
I don't know.
Why do you think they are?
Rashford is silencing them all with his performance on the pitch. He is not finished. He is not a failed signing. He is back in his prime and he's ready to remind the world exactly who Marcus Rashford is.